Hey guys, and welcome back, or welcome if you're new. I am Maddie. I post new Sims content every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. And today we are back with our third and final installment for this Cannabis Connoisseur scenario. So we are going to just jump back into it, get it going. As you guys last saw, or if you maybe haven't, I would encourage you to go watch those previous two videos to see how we got here. But we started off with some climbing, finding bin ronkers, getting the weed, and buying seeds so that we can crossbreed all of the strains that we don't currently have. So once we've bought the bud that bin ronkers has already basically bred for us, so we currently have Northern Lights, Trainwreck, Komorebi Fantasy, OG Kush, AK-47, Sour Diesel, Purple Haze, Sour OG, Purple AK-47. So the two strains that we are missing is Purple Lights and OG Rec. Purple Lights is a cross between obviously Purple Haze and Northern Lights, and then OG Rec is your cross between your regular OG Kush and your Trainwreck. So those seeds you'll be able to buy off of Ben Ronkers. You won't be able to buy off anybody else. So you'll need to climb that mountain, get to know him, get to buying the things that he has in order to grow the weed yourself, and also have the strains that you'll be missing since you won't be able to just buy them as bud. So at this point we're going to get into growing our weed because we don't have those two strands, that OG Rack and that Purple Lights. So as I mentioned, to get those strains you'll need to crossbreed two different strains, your Northern Lights and your Purple Haze, your OG Kush, and your Trainwreck. So you have to have basically 4 different plants, merge them, or graft one onto another in order to basically get the outcome that you're wanting. I have already done a step-by-step tutorial about how to grow weed. I won't be doing that necessarily same step-by-step layout here just because I have already done it. So if you guys want, the link will be up here and down in the description below for Meet the Bayerstons how to grow cannabis. So if you guys need a little bit more in-depth step-by-step tutorial on how to grow and get, good quality weed, then you can go there and see how I do it there. Or you can just grasp the concept from this as well because it's really not that hard. But I also did want to mention when growing weed, you're going to need to go to the base metal head shop and buy a ton of fertilizer because that is something necessary for your plants to reach like excellent quality or whatnot. So even here, when it looks like I'm buying a lot of fertilizer, this was not enough. These 30, 40 packs of fertilizer was not enough. I literally had to go back, I think, 2 other times. And of course, it all depends on how much you're growing. But I only have 12 plants as of right now. So I just didn't see it using that much fertilizer, but they do. And then I ended up adding another box because I needed plants that I was crossbreeding to kind of be in a box as well. So it was just, it was a lot. So basically every time your plant needs to evolve, it will need to be fertilized first. And so each plant, when you fertilize them, it'll take 1 bag of fertilizer per plant, which is why you run out so fast. So it's not like you're using 1 bag for multiple plants. You're using 1 bag per plant to fertilize. And then once it fertilizes or whatnot, give it a little second, like maybe the most it'll take is like a day or so, but I don't think it'll take that long. But after you fertilize, it'll start sparkling and then it'll say evolve. So basically every time you fertilize, you should expect evolution. And so while we're waiting on our plant's evolution, my babe decided she wanted to take a little smoke break. Nobody's mad at it. We do have to smoke cannabis 50 times in order to complete this Cannabis Connoisseur. So the more you smoke, the more you're getting accomplished, and the better we're going to be at this. At this point, our babies have sprouted up. They're still in frail quality, so nothing that can be harvested at this moment that'll be good. But at this moment, we're going to go ahead and take a cutting of one plant. So that is our Northern Lights plant. And then we are going to attach it or graft it onto our Northern Lights plant. And obviously once we do that, it goes back down to a little baby plant because obviously this is basically like starting a whole new plant. And I am also going to buy a fourth planter box because once you harvest, say, you harvest your purple AK-47, your purple lights, and, all of those different concoctions you've made off of one plant. Once you have that seed, you can then plant it to make a purple lights plant instead of having a plant that gives off 3 different strains. So you can get ample amount of weed when you just have that one singular strain being grown, if that makes sense. So once we harvest some purple lights, we're going to then plant a purple lights plant so that we can get ample amount of purple lights from one plant. Because if not, you're going to get maybe like 3 or 4 buds from, for purple lights, 3 or 4 buds for, regular Northern Lights, and 3 or 4 buds for regular purple haze. And we don't want that. We want like the whole plant to be harvestable and what we need. So that's how we do that. And now back to our regular scheduled program. If you guys look in this far left planter box, you see that it is sparkling, which means our plants are ready to evolve. When they're ready, you're going to click them, they'll evolve, and they'll go up in quality.
Ooh, bien koya.
So one thing I absolutely adore about this gameplay is how realistic it is. So you can see on that purple haze plant how it's kind of pink on one side, and you can see on that Northern Lights plant there's like purple buds on it. So you can see like how the strains have changed visibly on the game, as well as, it letting you know like the quality it is too. So it's not just kind of like you're dependent upon the quality. You can also kind of see like what your plant is doing too. So I do really like that. And now we're up for our next evolution. Our plants are currently at normal quality, or we're evolving them up to normal quality as they are coming from meager, which is great. So all of our plants are normal quality. We can harvest them here if you'd like. If you want perfect or excellent quality buds, then you'll need to continue to nurture them and evolve them till they get there. But this does take time, y'all. This takes time. It isn't like, 1, 2 sim days. This pretty much takes all summer. And I maxed out the season days to 28 days per season. These will go all summer. Like, you will be evolving them all summer. So don't get frustrated if you feel like this is just taking too long, because it does take a minute. And you'll just continue the process of fertilizing, evolving, fertilize, evolve, up until you get it to the quality you want it to be. Me personally, I didn't really care about quality because I just need to check off like, hey, I have all the strains, I wasn't really worried about the quality. So as long as it's not frail or meager, like as long as it's normal to perfect or normal to excellent, then I'm good with it. I didn't really, see a big reason for me to keep holding out. Plus, I'm also impatient. Like, I want to see this for me, but also, like, I've got a schedule to keep track of when it comes to posting for you guys. So, I didn't really care about quality. I just wanted to complete it. So we've evolved all of our plant babies up to good quality. So if we were to harvest now, it would be good quality weed, which isn't bad. And I do believe I went ahead and harvest all harvestables since it's at good quality. And like I said, I'm not waiting around for it to get perfect. We don't care. Not to that extent. Now, when it comes to harvesting these buds off of these spliced plants, like I mentioned previously, you're not going to get a whole heck of a lot of one strain. So I've got 2 of the OG Rec, I've got probably 2 of the regular just OG Kush, and 2 just probably of the regular Train Wreck. So you're not going to be able to cure them how you need to because you don't have enough to put in this little cure jar. So what you're going to need to do is harvest more buds. So this, I was kind of trying out to see how much I would get off of this one plant with it being a splice plant. So I wouldn't even hold on to those 2 little buds I got out of it. I am going to replant those 2 buds so that way we're just only making a OG Rec plant, or we're only making a Purple Lights plant. And you can't cure 2 different strains together, so you have to have, like, I believe 7 to 10 buds to cure in order for it to go into a jar. But you can't cure like an OG Rec bud and then Northern Lights bud together. You can't cure them in the same jar, so you have to have enough of each bud to cure them. So what I ended up doing was I ended up scrapping some of these plants. I went ahead and harvested everything that was harvestable on them, and I just went ahead and uprooted them and replaced them with the strain that I need, so which is OG Rec and the Purple Lights. So for video purposes, I just kind of walked you through, instead of showing you what it is I did. I just kind of told you guys what I did in order to acquire this weed I have now. So as you can see, they are jarred up, packed up, yeah. So for the bigger curing jars, you are going to need at least a level 5 dealing skill. So I would recommend going ahead, setting your drug dealer, getting to meet with them, and either cheating that skill or actively selling drugs to level up that skill. But we've got curing jars for days as far as like all of these different strands are concerned. So I'm very happy about that. And then of course your plants will continue to grow over again. We're now in fall. It still grows in fall, so they will continue to grow over again, but they will still stay the quality that they were when you harvested them the first time. So when they start over, it's not like they start back frail and then you're having to evolve them up more and more and more. They're still good quality even when they're at this little baby stage and starting over. So just to let you guys know that, so you're not freaked out like how I was when I was like, oh my god, what did this girl do to these plants? But she didn't do anything to them. They did this on their own. And I will go ahead and touch on that BM box. I didn't use it at all during this growing process. I bought it in case I needed to use it, but I do believe you have to have about 50 uncured buds to go in this vault, basically this curing vault, which I didn't have like 50 of like one strain to put in there, so it was just irrelevant. I just used it to sit weed on top of. That's pretty much what I did with it. So it's not needed. It's not something that's necessary, especially if you're just making like personal size amounts of bud. So it's not needed, but I did want to touch on that just in case you guys were wondering, like, yeah, what is that about? And as you can see, they have sprouted back up a good bit, and they are still good quality. Just wanted to show you guys that so you didn't think I was bluffing. That they'll continue to grow, and they're actively like sprouting up into these big beautiful bushes now, so I like saying that. So excitingly enough, some of our jars are done curing. So we are going to go over to our jars and hit open. Or you can put them in your inventory and open them from there, but it really just doesn't matter because you're going to open them regardless. And if you've already got those strains in your inventory, they will go ahead and go and just kind of add on to what you've already had. So my strains before were, I think, at like 5, and now it's at 7. So and then obviously you can hover over them to see what's still currently curing and what's already done curing, so you can open, what's done, and then obviously, leave alone what's not. So at this point, I know we're going to have our strains super soon, so we're about to close out this Cannabis Connoisseur scenario. So I want her to go ahead and get her rolling skills up. I want her to roll up some weed. I want her to be, efficient in it. I want her to know how to do it. And we want her to just get to going on it. So I had her roll about 4 or 5 back to back, just so she kind of gets the feel for it. Because the first thing I did was buy a bong, and all you got to do is put the weed in the bong and hit the bong. Like, there's no, skill to that. But I really just wanted her to have her, and I'm like, I've never seen anybody roll a blunt like that. I've never seen anybody just hit the fuck out their hand like they're rolling a blunt. That's crazy. But I was like, she got them done, whatever, they're in her inventory. She can smoke them. But yeah, I just wanted her to have different avenues of being able to smoke. Just so she's not hitting the bong like all day long, and that's going to count towards smoking weed however many times. But yeah. I definitely do love the animations for her smoking, but I just wish they kind of made a little bit more dainty movements for the females. Although I know you probably won't be able to kind of assort who's male and who's female smoking this blunt, but like legs wide open, like just, I don't know. Like, I felt like they could have made it a little bit more, they could have had a different animation or have different animations so that, they're not in a dress or a skirt with their legs wide open. And while we're waiting for our other buds to finish curing, Camilla comes back home from work and she is offered a raise. So she can either be the boss or the oracle. But to be honest, the pay drop just wasn't enough for me to say, yeah, that's cool. And plus I had more days off with being the boss anyway. So, I just felt like that was a good trade-off. And I can't lie, this promotion was well-deserved because I had been going to work every day and coming back with no more than $200. So I was like, yeah, I definitely need a raise. And I need the biggest raise that they're going to have to offer me. Not just, a $10 jump and working more days. That's just not a promotion to me. And so once we have returned from work, some of our weed is done curing, so we are going to go over, open them up, and obviously check off some of our boxes regarding the strains of weed that we now have acquired. Oh, so exciting. So we now got purple lights, which is so exciting, so that can be checked the flip off. So now 11 out of 13, and so we just need that last OG rec, which is still currently curing, and then after that we'll just have to finish out smoking those 50 times, and that is it for our Cannabis Connoisseur. So at this point I am looking for a big storage chest to put all of my weed into, because that's just a whole lot to be carrying around on my person. And what if I go to jail? Then they're going to take all of my hard-earned work, and I just can't afford that. So I ended up buying this first chest, which does absolutely nothing, so don't bother. And then I ended up buying this second chest, which is huge, and it's basically like having another inventory just at home. So you're just able to put in pretty much anything out of your inventory into it, so that way you're not carrying it around the whole time and whatnot, and you can access it at any time when you go home. So I'm just going to move the seeds in there, as I'm not going to be growing any other weed as of right now, and all of those uncured kind of buds that I'm not going to be growing. And so finally our OG rec is done curing, which is the last strain that we needed. Yay! So we finally got 11 out of 11 strains, so now we're up to 12 out of 13 of the goals completed. Now the last thing for us to do would be to smoke weed 50 times. And as you guys already saw, we had her roll up about 5 different blunts, so that way she would already have those on hand to smoke. But what ended up happening, so obviously she had smoked like along, but she hadn't like smoked a whole lot. She was just, smoking out her bong. And obviously I just taught her how to roll, basically. But she then becomes a stoner, and I was like, oh, I really wasn't like sure if I wanted her to become a stoner, because I don't want her pulling out the bong every 5 seconds, which I feel like she already does. But yeah, Camilla has been smoking too much cannabis lately and has turned into a full-fledged stoner. So chances are, if she's got weed on her, and if she's got her bong on her, or if she's got, you know, rolling papers on her, she's gonna roll up, she's gonna smoke her bong, she's gonna do her thing, like, without me having to, you know, tell her, hey, you want to smoke right now? Honestly, I don't know how many times I've smoked weed already. I did not keep count, and I probably should have, maybe. I'm not quite sure. So I was also like, let's just make this really interesting, kind of fun. So my roommate slash bestie just got back from work. And so I am going to gift her some weed so that she has some, because I literally have all of these packs of weed, and obviously I'm not going to smoke all of this. I mean, a true stoner would never say that. But I just felt very benevolent, and I was like, look, I'm going to give her a pack. I'm going to give her some rolling papers, and I'm going to, you know, let her experiment on her own. But I'm also going to smoke with her, because I was like, that'd be cool, right? No, that'd be definitely cool. And obviously she really enjoyed the gift, because, I mean, who doesn't like getting cannabis as a gift? That's like the best gift ever. And then instead of giving her a pack of like cigars or rolling papers, I just ended up giving her one of the blunts that I already rolled, so that she could just, you know, smoke the blunt, and then she can do whatever she wants with the bud. Like, she can make edibles, or, you know, do whatever she wants with that. She doesn't have to like roll it if she doesn't want to, you know. So yeah, she gets high at the dinner table, and I go sit on the couch and smoke my bong. But I really just thought that was really nice, you know. Gave her first high. She looks like she's enjoying it. It's lovely. Life is good. And then I just, you know, do a little bong hit, because we got to get these smoke 50 times out the way. And I'm just like, I don't know how close I am to this 50 time mark, but I know my sim is tired, okay? I know she's tired of smoking, because I would be tired of smoking. I ain't gonna lie to you. But I will continue to finish smoking off camera. So if you guys want to see some more scenarios that you would like to see maybe completed full out, so that you guys kind of know what to do or how to accomplish certain things, let me know. I think I'm just going to start a scenario series, just so, you know, just little fun things to do in case you're starting to get a little bored with your game. These are always nice to spruce up. If you guys have any questions, comments, or concerns, please leave it in the comment section down below. Please leave me a like. Please subscribe. I do post new Sims content every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. Once again, please subscribe, and I will see you guys back in another video. Have a great evening.